What's up, guys? How's it going today? In this video, we are going through the beautiful Microsoft Flight Simulator. We're using a Textron Aviation Cessna 152, and we're at my home airport. That's Kilo Romeo Hotel Indigo, Rhinelander, Oneida County Airport. Because the weather is kind of not so good for VFR flight, we are going to go in here. We're going to switch it to presets, and we're going to go clear skies. We want some cabin lights on here. And our altimeter, we wanted to go 29902, which is there. We're at the start of 27 and 9. So I'm gonna have to send an email to Microsoft Flight Simulator and say, hey, you have the airport runway signs wrong. So get them fixed. Rhinelander air traffic, Cessna 152 Delta Tango, taxiing onto runway 27 for departure, close traffic. Touch and go, Rhinelander. We want to use the entire runway. Get her lined up pretty close to center. And we just want to check our compass. We're going west, which is 27. Once everything's lined up with the heading indicator here, we have our checklist. So we want flaps set. We're at 10 degrees, which was great. Transponder, alt 1200, squawking. Lights, we can turn off our taxi light. Carburetor heat is on cold. Emergency procedures review. A normal takeoff, throttle full open, engine instruments check, rotate at 50 knots, climb, and we want to go 67 knots as our cruising climb speed. Here we go, throttle, little right rudder, and we're gonna watch our gauges. So we have oil pressure in the green, oil temperature in the green. Fuel quantity is still good. And 50 knots, we're going to start pulling her back, and we're off the ground. But we want to keep heading right at west. I'm going to let it crab into the wind now. So feet off the rudder pedals. Normally, if you could see something, you would pick out an obstacle down the runway, so that way you would just fly to that. We're right about 65 knots here, so we're climbing pretty good. You can see we're drifting off course just a touch. That's one of the things that's tricky about flying here, because you don't have an actual feel of the airplane. So we just passed the numbers. And we're about 300, so we're going to make our turn into crosswind. 300 short of our altitude, so we want to go just a standard degree turn. You can see that down there in the turn coordinator, and we're still climbing. And we're at cruising altitude, so we're going to go flaps up. We want to keep turning. We're going to bring our power back, and we're just going to stay right here about 70 to 80 knots as we're flying the traffic pattern. And you want to definitely trim so you don't have to hold pressure on the control. And we're going to make our turn. Right on our traffic, Cessna 152 Delta Tango turning left, downwind, runway 27, touch and go, Rhinelander. We're a little high, so we're going to bring it back down. Nice and slowly. And we just want to head east because that'll be directly opposite of the runway, which is west. So we're going 9 right now. 090 is our heading. So I'm using a finger knob here on the Logitech flight yoke system, but you could go right here and trim this way like you would and get used to the actual airplane. But I've been flying with this one for a little bit now, so I'm not too concerned about flying that specifically. And then you can look over to the left, you can see We're a pretty good distance away from the runway. We have runway 27 right here is what we're landing on, and then this is runway 33 and then 15 going the opposite direction. Alright, now we have to start preparing for a normal descent here. So before landing, we need seat belts. Check. Fixture. Full rich. Check. Let's see where we're at. Alright, we just passed the numbers, so we're okay here for a little bit. Flaps as desired, so we're going to just go 10 for now. Start slowing us down a little bit. You can see the deviation there with the airplane. And let's check our... That's about 45 degrees back, so we're going to make our turn base. Rhineland area traffic, Cessna 152 Delta Tango turning left base. Touch and go. Runway 27 Rhinelander. Forgot what I was going to say. We just want to kind of hold altitude here, so I got a little bit of back pressure on the yoke. We actually want to be right around 55 to 65 for landing. 55 to 65 knots, that is. So we're right about there, and we're definitely right where we want to be at traffic altitude. Kind of angled in, we're not square, so we're going to square up. And getting pretty close to final. And might have waited a little bit too long. Rhineland area traffic 6152, left turn, final, runway 27, touch and go, Rhinelander. Won't be too bad. And there she is. We definitely overshot that one a little bit. And we are high, since we have white over white. We're going to start slowing her down. We want to trim for our descent here. Actually brought throttle all the way back to idle. We're going to go flaps one more notch. And we're going to try and keep it right about there. And just float right in. And we're slowing down a little bit too much here, so I'm actually going to go nose down since we're high still. Be a little speed. And there is a ton of runway here, so I'm not exactly too concerned about landing in the first 1/3, but we're definitely going to hit that first 1/3, so... Again, we're a little slow. Just past the threshold here. And we're almost on the ground. Little flare, little rudder. And we got touchdown. Little right of target. Now we're gonna go flaps up. 10 degrees. Full throttle, using right rudder so we don't have that left turning tendency at slower speeds. And it pretty much wanted to lift us right off the ground since we didn't rotate right at that 50. Then we're just going to cycle through all of those again. But for this video, that's going to be it. I'm going to keep practicing. If you have any questions, post them down below. Or we'll see you guys in the next one.